welcome everyone. I'm Monica Wicki.
Yeah, and I'm Logan Rader, and this is New Mexico Living. Thank you so much for joining us today, guys. Hope you're having a great day.
Yeah.
Question for you guys out there, and for you.
Yeah.
You're a reader.
Yeah, I'm trying to be more of a reader, but
Okay.
I would say that I read occasionally.
I have become a reader.
Yes.
That was
one
of
of
my
your New Year's resolutions.
One of my New Year's resolutions. And so I've gotten into this book. I've talked about it before. It's called The Ark of Scythe. I'm on the 3rd book right now.
Right.
And I have found myself wondering, how in the world do authors write these books?
I think
how do they do it?
It's really incredible when you read something like Scythe. I'm just kind of starting that first book in the
Yeah.
series, or when you read something like Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, these very long like series of books that have absolutely created this other world where these characters, go from book to book. Sometimes you lose some, sometimes you gain some. It's amazing to think about how those authors' minds really work.
It absolutely is blowing my mind. When I find myself reading this book, I'm like,
Yeah.
this man, Neil Shusterman, has created this entire world. And it's so detailed, but it's so easy to follow. Making movies is an
Yeah.
amazing thing. I think writing books like this, creating worlds like this for people to read in these books, it blows my mind.
And being
blows my mind.
Being able to do it in such a way where you can actually visualize this fictional, completely not real place, but they've described it and built it and designed it in a way with their words that you're like, I can picture this.
Yes.
I do know what this looks like. That's what I think is also very impressive.
Exactly. If an author can make me start visualizing what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm reading this books and I'm so into it that I literally feel like I'm not reading and then I'm just like seeing what's happening. It's so weird.
Yeah,
It's so
no, I get
beautiful.
that.
Neil Shusterman, Ark of Scythe. I cannot tell you guys how amazing it is. And also, I can't tell you how amazing our show is today.
Yeah, we got a
because,
lot.
It's
Lot of fun
awesome.
stuff.
So yeah, let's get right into things, all right?
All right, everybody. So Mother's Day, it is this weekend, and what better way to show your mom that you love her than a delicious homemade breakfast in bed?
That's right. I used to do this for my mom every Mother's Day when I was a kid. Me and my siblings, we'd make breakfast for mom, take it to her in bed. She loved it. So if you're wanting to make your mom breakfast but are needing some maybe inspiration on what to make her, Chef Jeff Jackson with Smith's Food and Drug has the perfect dish. Take a look at this.
Hello everybody, I'm Chef Jeff from Smith's. Mother's Day is right around the corner and I've got a great recipe that's easy and that will also pamper your mom. I think it's important on a Mother's Day to take care of mom, and this recipe is going to use some ingredients that are kind of elevated a little bit, but the technique is still easy. We're making a breakfast pita that's grilled. So first of all, I've got some pita bread here. What I want to do is grill it. You don't have to grill it, but I would say at least toast it if you're not going to grill it. So first of all, I'm going to put some olive oil on a pita bread. I'm going to salt and pepper it. And then I'm going to put it on a grill just to get some grill marks. So probably about 2 to 3 minutes per side. I'll oil this side as well. And basically, I'm just after some nice grill marks. I'll show you what that looks like when that's done. Okay, I've flipped that. I've got some nice grill marks on the heat off, so that's just waiting for me. So pita's ready to go. The next elevated ingredient is called mascarpone cheese. It's like cream cheese, only way better. And you can find this at the deli at your local Smith's. So I'm going to take some of that mascarpone cheese and put it in a bowl. And to kind of help it out a little bit, I'm about 3/4 of a cup is what I'm looking for. I'm going to take some lemon zest, and that's just taking a lemon and running it over a microplane just to get that zest off of there, or the yellow part on top. So I'll zest this up and then I'll show you what we do next. Okay, zest is all in there. Now I'm going to take some salt and pepper, and I'm just going to mix this just until everything comes together. Okay, the mascarpone cheese section is done. Next, I'm going to take some arugula, which is just a nice little green that you find in the produce section. It's a little fancier than just regular lettuce. We're going to take that arugula. We're going to add some olive oil. We're going to add some salt and pepper, and I'm just going to go ahead and toss this around. This will be one of our last components we have to prepare. Okay, the last thing I do before I assemble is just to fry an egg. So I would just say medium heat, non-stick pan, a little bit of butter, drop in your egg. I'm gonna go sunny side up, a little bit of salt and pepper. Just let this cook until the edges become crispy and the top just begins to set just a little bit. Takes just about 1.5 minutes. Okay, our egg is done, time to assemble. I'm gonna take some of that mascarpone, put it on my pita and just spread it until it's got a nice layer. Next we'll go prosciutto, just nice and thin and beautiful, and then we'll go some of our arugula, and then we'll finish it off. All right, and the last step, of course, is that beautiful sunny side egg right over the top. And then we will take some of our olive oil and drizzle on there, and that is a beautiful breakfast or brunch for your mom. Made with just really good ingredients, not much technique involved, super easy to make, but she'll be super impressed, that I know for sure. And of course, you can find all of these ingredients at your local Smith's. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for shopping. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
I'm having PTSD from seeing the prosciutto. I had a bad case of prosciutto once. It tastes like sweaty meat. This will not taste like that, though, and I think your mom would love it.
So weird. To watch that video again and to jot down the recipe, head over to KRQE.com and click on the New Mexico Living tab.
It was a bad batch, okay?
Okay.
Guys, when you think of family traditions, it's usually around recipes, vacations, or holiday gatherings. But one Albuquerque family's traditions involve electrical engineering, science, and machine learning.
Could not be my family, and underneath their collective intellect lies a bond greater than anything science can ever explain. Chad Bremmett has their story.
John Orend is beaming bright from his modest office at Veris Research.
You can actually add the logarithms of two numbers and you get the total length and convert it back to the multiplication product.
And it's not just his work at the firm that has him smiling ear to ear.
This is an unbelievable blessing. I couldn't be prouder of my boys or my daughter, Nicole, in how they've grown up and who they've become.
John has the unique opportunity to keep daily tabs on how his sons, Matthew and Joshua, are doing. They work just down the hall, making research and engineering a family affair.
The fact that I was here at Veris when each of them happened to be looking for jobs themselves was simply coincidental or fortuitous.
John relocated his growing family from Iowa to New Mexico back in 1987, accepting a position at Sandia National Labs.
I think 100 years ago I would have just been a university professor, right? Always learning, teaching students. That's been a joy of mine in my career.
Obviously, working as an electrical engineer takes a great amount of time and a great attention to detail. John undoubtedly brought home his passion for his work with him, and that may be why his sons gravitated toward this field in the first place.
However, he's quick to point out,
I never pushed them any direction because I wanted them to grow up as themselves.
I've been into engineering since I was a kid. In high school, definitely. Started getting pretty serious into electrical engineering, designing a lot of audio stuff, audio equipment, amplifiers, audio amplifiers for my car.
And when he decked his car out with the loudspeakers and stuff, I was like, what a waste of money.
what wasn't a waste? The foundational interest in mathematics and engineering that both brothers share.
So unlike Matt, I have appreciated science and technology for almost all of my life. I have, I would say, taken a more indirect route than he did.
Josh, the youngest of the three siblings, actually set out to become an attorney. However, during his undergraduate years at Eastern New Mexico University, he switched majors from business administration to applied mathematics, which then led to a master's and postdoc at the University of Colorado in Boulder.
Came back home to New Mexico during my postdoc to visit family, and then heard about some of the great stuff that was going on at Veris.
Veris Research is a team of scientists who have brought their collective talents together to tackle 21st century problems. Their work in high-powered microwaves, electromagnetic simulation and analysis, and nuclear systems analysis requires the best minds in the field, a requirement that the Orend family could fulfill with their decades of training and development.
Matt is really the doer. He makes things work. He creates stuff. I like to just sit behind a whiteboard, do a little bit of math, pie in the sky type things. And I think when I was growing up, this was one of the biggest things that fascinated me about my dad's work is he would do more formal mathematics on a whiteboard. He would start doing things, deriving things, coming up with insights. And I was really fascinated how this actually connects to the real world.
The divergent interests between Matt and Josh now work in harmony at Veris. Matt designs electrical systems, everything from large-scale jobs to small circuit boards.
Because it is taking the abstract and making a real thing out of it.
While Josh's focus is on software development, AI, and space autonomy.
My work is looking at developing different forms of artificial intelligence and machine learning-based or data-driven approaches.
Yet despite their different projects, focus, and expertise, the one tie that binds these scientists is family.
For me as a proud father, to see Matthew grow up to be a mature man. My daughter Nicole grow up to be a wonderful mom, person, and Joshua as well. I never in my whole life thought any of my kids would work where I work, at least. Lori and I wanted them to grow up to be who they really wanted to be.
It's a stroke of incredible timing as well as decades of hard work and training. But the emotional rewards, well, that's something that science and engineering may never be able to explain. Chad Brummett, KRQE News 13.
A lot of really great stuff right there. Before we head into break, though, we do have another KRQE Weather Academy that we want to share with you guys.
Yes, we do. That's right. Our meteorologist, Ryan DePhillips, we call him Ryan DePhillies or DePhillium.
Yes.
He went over to Adobe Acres, and that's where he took the KRQE Weather Academy to teach all the students all about the weather here in New Mexico and what meteorologists do as well.
Yeah, very cool opportunity for these kids to get to hear from him firsthand, ask questions. They get a certificate at the end, a really great program.
Yeah, we love the KRQE Weather Academy for sure.
All right, guys, up next, if you are looking to enroll your child in a Catholic school, now is the time.
Absolutely. We're talking with the superintendent of Catholic schools about enrollment for the 2025-2026 school year, as well as the benefits students see from this type of education. Stick around for that conversation.
First, though, a look inside the New Mexico Living Green Room.
And now check on your forecast.
It's now time for the National Roofing Weather Update.
Across the state right now, we are still seeing those continuing rain and storms. Up across the mountain peaks, there is some chance for some snow falling. Now, that is leading to some risks with flash flooding, particularly across the Sangre de Cristo Mountains due to the very quick snow melt and large amounts of precipitation. We can expect for the rest of the week, Friday is going to be the wettest day after today. Saturday, those rain chances have really dropped down. We're only expecting rain across the very tops of our peaks. So the Sangre de Cristo, Jemez, and of course the Gila Wilderness. By Monday and of course on Mother's Day, we are expecting temperatures to warm up and dry out. More information on that will of course be coming up in your full forecast.
Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce Convention and Tourism Department is the proud iPad sponsor for New Mexico Living.
Preparing students for leadership in school, church, and our global community, the Catholic schools of the Archdiocese of Santa Fe offer a Christ-centered, academically challenging Catholic education. They are really offering a positive environment that helps the students reach their full potential. Today, we are joined by the Superintendent of Catholic Schools, Donna Illerbrun, talking all about what Catholic schools have to offer, as well as when you can enroll your child for the upcoming school year. Donna, thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
I think people know Catholic schools are a wonderful opportunity for, their child to get that really wonderful education here in the Albuquerque area. I want to talk about enrollment. It is now open for 2025, 2026. Talk to us about how parents enroll.
Well, thank you. First of all, we have several schools throughout the Archdiocese, up in Santa Fe, all the way to Berlin, also the East Mountains, one in Rio Rancho, and several here in Albuquerque. So our schools really want to value the unique gifts of every child. So the whole idea of sending them there is so that they learn about their faith, but to know that they are loved, that God has a purpose, and to help them to learn to be kind to one another, to become the person God wants them to be, knowing that they have a God-given purpose. I mean, remember when you were a teenager, why do I need to know that?
Sure.
What do I need to learn this for? Well, because someday you may be a doctor or you may be a teacher.
Right.
There's so many different purposes out there, and we want to help them to find their purpose, to never give up, to have hope.
It's a well-rounded educational experience at the Catholic schools. You guys are very high achieving academically. Talk to me about the education and some of the test scores, for example, that you're seeing at these Catholic schools.
So one of the agencies that will go throughout the United States and rate schools. Every state is rated based on their academics as well as everything else that's going on.
Sure.
So NAEP, which is the National Assessment of Educational Progress, annually rates every state. And here in New Mexico, unfortunately, we've been pretty low for many years, but our schools, they came out in January, it was in the Albuquerque Journal, that if the Catholic schools were a state of their own, they would be #1 in the nation.
Wow.
And people say, well, how can that be? Well, we follow national standards. But not only that, we have teachers that are sacrificing their lives, giving of themselves. They could be making a lot of money in the public schools, but they are choosing to work for a nonprofit to help all children, to help them to become responsible adults, to make good choices, but to value them where they are, and if they're struggling in any area, to spend the time to help them.
Yeah.
And to show them why, the why.
Absolutely.
And to teach them how, doing what you're doing in school today will affect your life in the future. And being kind to one another is how you can grow.
Sure.
When kids are hurtful and they bully, you're preventing other children from becoming the person God intends them to be.
Yeah.
And so it's teaching them. I mean, Catholic guilt is wonderful. When you're mean, not only are you hurting their feelings, but you could be hurting their future. And so we want them to know how to be kind, how to treat one another, and most importantly, how to say, I'm sorry.
Right.
Or to ask for help.
Right. Making that well-rounded individual, from start to finish, just a well-rounded individual. Are you needing teachers?
We do need teachers.
Okay.
We're always looking for more teachers. It's a wonderful environment to work in because we do hold each other accountable and our students accountable. They know what the expectations are, and it's really faith, service, and learning tied together. How do we serve our community? How do we help one another? But also for parents, they know their children will be safe. And we know that we're saints in the making, which means we do make mistakes. But how do we make amends? How do we say we're sorry? And how do we get back on so that we can be successful in life?
Absolutely. I know that you guys have a wealth of information on your website, asfcatholicschools.org. There you can learn more about what we talked about today, tuition assistance that you guys offer. Donna, thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you.
Absolutely. Guys, for more information on everything we just talked about, head over to krqb.com. Click on that New Mexico Living tab. Don't go anywhere. There is more New Mexico Living after the break.
The statistics don't lie. New Mexico faces the highest rate of childhood poverty than anywhere else in the nation. It's why Kirky Cares visits Title I schools, giving every child in those schools not just a pair of shoes, but hygiene products, books, and most importantly, smiles. Something we couldn't do without your help. 100% of your donations goes directly to help these kids right here in New Mexico. Make a difference in a child's life today. Go to kirkycares.com to donate. Your donations go from here to here.
I'm wearing them right now.
Title I schools across the metro.
So Title I was enacted in 1965 by President Lyndon Johnson, and he did that at the time because he too grew up in poverty and realized that for him, the way out of poverty was his public education.
There are more than 100 Title I schools in APS. To qualify, 50% or more kids in the school have to be at or below the poverty line.
Some of our Title I schools are 100% poverty.
With the help of Whiteman Davenport, APS Title I's District Family Engagement Resource Teacher, Assistance League of Albuquerque, and KRQE picked the schools with the greatest need. This time around, it was Bel Air Elementary.
It's a hard world we live in, and New Mexico is ranked very low in income and child welfare and ranked very high in poverty levels.
Principal Hannah Minalfa sees the struggles.
A lot of our families come needing support just with basic necessities, like, hey, you know, we're gonna be tight on food or utilities, we need money for gas.
Without basic needs, the kids just cannot attune and pay attention so that they can actually learn and grow academically. So basic needs are foundational.
Title I's mission is to level the playing field for students, even with something many people take for granted, a new pair of shoes.
I mean, these are children who sometimes their shoes are hand-me-downs and their shoes are too big as you're taking them off their feet, or sometimes the shoes have holes in them.
It takes a big, dedicated team to pull off each shoe drive, finding the perfect match for hundreds of kids in the matter of hours.
The kids were talking about it for like the whole week before. Is today shoe day? Is today shoe day?
Excited volunteers from KRQE, Assistance League, Glasheen Viason Inderman, Wise Pies, Molina Healthcare, and Kirtland Credit Union get ready to meet excited kids.
They came in and they were like high-fiving the kids and, hey, how's it going? Come on, tell me what your favorite color is. Are you excited today? And the volunteers were just so kid-friendly.
It was like, hey, let me get to know you a little bit. What's your favorite color? What do you like? And then let me go find a shoe. Oh, you hate that one? Okay, let me try again. Until they found the perfect fit shoe.
Well, the message is clear. You are not alone. Addiction can take hold of a life in the blink of an eye, and when it does, it can have severe impacts that stretch far and wide. If you are someone who is struggling with addiction, it's crucial that you understand that there is help that's readily available. It's help that can turn your life around in a space that is free of any and all judgment. We are joined by the founder and CEO of Renew Health, Trent Carter, talking about the stigma surrounding treatment and how they are working day in and day out to change the narrative we are seeing. Trent, welcome, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, sir. Happy to be here.
Let's just talk about this right now. The stigma maybe surrounding treatment. Maybe back in the day, we used to live by a motto of, hey, just be quiet, shut up and be quiet, hold your feelings in, right? Or if someone went to get treatment, they kind of people looked at them with unapproving eyes, right? Let's talk about the stigma surrounding treatment and how we're trying to change that stigma.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a very real thing. The stigma, the stereotyping, it's true. Right. And the thing is, guys, I've got patients from every walk of life. I've got what you would think your stereotypical someone that's abusing and struggling with, right? And I've literally got attorneys that are patients, right? Anywhere in between. We've got successful business owners to someone that's homeless. And so it is extremely prevalent. But something I want to say, I mean, somebody can turn their life around so quickly. And oftentimes, even against other medical professionals, whatever, I am opposed with this argument of, hey, you're just swapping one addiction for the other when you start the medication. And it's simply not true. Yeah. Again, they're underneath the care of a licensed and experienced medical provider. Right. They're pharmaceuticals, right? They're medications that are coming from the pharmacy that are backed by clinical trials and studies that are scientifically proven. It's evidence-based, right? We know the stuff works. But even aside from that, my favorite comparison to make here is, look, if somebody's struggling with blood pressure, so the first thing your doctor's going to tell you is, hey, make some lifestyle changes, exercise, change your diet. Same thing for somebody that's struggling with fentanyl, right? You probably need to stop hanging out with some of these folks, make your lifestyle changes. But if those lifestyle changes don't change for the individual in this scenario that's struggling with blood pressure, what are we going to do? Medication, diabetes, medication, glaucoma, high cholesterol. The answer is medication across the board. So whenever we turn around and do this for an opioid patient or an alcohol patient, why is there a stigma associated? It makes no sense. So if you're one of the individuals, medical provider, whoever you are that feels that way, change your opinion, because it's not right. It's not right.
Absolutely. And I got to say that I feel like it's a sign of strength when someone says they swallow their pride and they reach out for that treatment. It's not that they're weak. I think it's a sign of strength that they realize they have a problem and they want to fix it. I commend people who do that. Let's talk a little bit about treatment facilities and resources here in the state. Do we have enough of them? Do we see a shortfall of this? Talk to us about that.
So I want to mention on that strength, man, I give a lot of high fives because it takes such a strong person to be able to say, hey, you know what, I'm struggling and this is beyond me. I don't have control anymore and I do need the help. So anyways, I love it when people come in and they admit that. As far as resources, no, we don't have nearly enough resources. Obviously, Renew Health is trying to make a change there. We have 3 physical locations and we are adding more. We're continuing, right? We're trying to cover all of the state. We want to help folks, right?
Absolutely.
But even if there's not a physical location near you, telehealth's the answer.
And this is amazing. Break down telehealth for us.
Yeah, telehealth, a total game changer for a lot of medicine, but specifically for the addiction treatment, because you can get the help right there at home, right? So whether you're at the very beginning and you know that you're going to have to go through detox, we got you. We can help you with that. Or if you've already gone through that and hey, you're 10 days sober or abstinent at this point, but the cravings are so intense and you're having to fight it all day long because literally you're thinking about it 100 times today. Let's get rid of that too. We got you, and you never even have to leave the couch.
That's amazing stuff right there. Telehealth really has changed the game, especially for those rural communities or people that don't live in rural communities, guys, because we've talked about it before. It can be tough to get in to see a doctor. Sometimes you got to wait weeks on end, and sometimes you don't have weeks. So that's where telehealth has bridged that gap, and Renew Health uses that. You guys cover the gamut when it comes to addiction recovery, which is absolutely amazing stuff. Do you believe that telehealth is proven to work?
Absolutely.
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 Yeah.
So first and foremost, I'll tell you, Renew Health has no wait list. You call, we're going to get you in.
It's amazing.
If it's the end of the day, maybe it can't be today, we'll get you in tomorrow. There is no wait list. We'll get you in same week, guaranteed. Is telehealth proven? Well, based off of my clinical experience, yes. Based off of statistical data, yes. And I'll tell you, it's no different. You get the same treatment. Whether we're sitting here in person or if we're having to do it over a screen, you're still going to see me or one of our providers at Renew Health. You're getting the exact same level of care. That quality does not go down just because we don't get to meet in person. You may not get one of my awesome high fives, but aside from that, look, we're going to take care of you.
I'll tell you what right now, Renew Health, they are going to be there for you every single step of the way. They care about you guys. They want you to get back on that path towards success, and they're proven to do that for so many people. Trent, you wrote a book, and this is going to be an amazing tool for people to utilize. Talk to us about this book.
Yeah, the Recovery Tool Belt, coming out soon. It'll be on all platforms. You can get it everywhere. We will have a recorded version so you're audible or whatever. Amazing. But look, the Recovery Tool Belt, it is full of information, and it's for anybody, whether you're an individual that's struggling, whether you're a loved one or a friend, or hey, even a coworker and you just want to help out, or if you don't fit into any of those scenarios, but over the news all the time because you're watching this show today and you want to educate yourself a little more, the book is in there, or it's in the book. It's for everybody. It's a very easy read, and I'm telling you, it's a game changer for anybody who needs to learn more.
And guys, we will have a link on our website to where you can get that Recovery Tool Belt.
The Recovery Tool Belt.
The Recovery Tool Belt, just another thing for you to have to help you get back on that path towards living the healthy life that we all want to live. Trent, a lot of great information we discussed today. Where can we go for more information about Renew Health?
RenewHealth.com.
There it is.
Plug it into Google or go straight to the website, RenewHealth.com. We have a ton of information on our website, not only about what we treat and things like that, but look, we have a daily blog that we post on that is full of information. So go check it out.
Renew Health, guys, they are tackling addiction in all forms right here in our state on a day in and day in basis. They're here for you too. If you are struggling with any type of addiction, please do not hesitate to call Renew Health. Like we said, that's a sign of strength. Whenever you pick up the phone, you admit that you're struggling and you call for help. That is not weak, that is strength. And I can't stress that enough. Trent Carter, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for what you're doing here in our state.
Thank you so much for having me. Look, guys, if you're struggling, we got you. We'll help you out. And we're going to let you know how brave it is for you to come in, okay? It does take a very strong individual to do that. So we're happy to be able to help you out.
Amazing stuff. Renew Health, getting people back on the path towards living a healthy life. Trent Carter, thank you so much for joining us today, man.
Thank you. Great time.
It's hard to just look at a flat map and try and predict the weather based on that. All the different mountain ranges we have, all the different valleys, all the different mesas. Being out in those different areas helps you create a better forecast because you know exactly how the wind, how the air is all interacting with those different geographic features. That is one of the biggest challenges when it comes to forecasting is you have to gain that experience to know how the weather's gonna interact differently. I'm Grant Tostrud, local reporting you can trust. Albuquerque is a world capital for hot air ballooning, thanks to the Albuquerque box effect. And the best way to experience it is by being up in a hot air balloon. The box effect is unique to Albuquerque, and a big reason for it is our geography. Colder air from the Sandias and the mountains in northern New Mexico flows down into the Rio Grande Valley. That colder air is more dense, so it travels southward just like water in the river. That creates this wind from north to south and can direct hot air balloons southward. If you go a little bit higher up on perfect days, the wind changes direction and moves from south to north. This layer of air is warmer as it's been forced upward by the colder layer of air and interacts with winds higher up in the atmosphere. This is what directs those balloons from south to north. This is the key for the Albuquerque box effect. Since they don't have any steering wheels, hot air balloon pilots have to pay close attention to what those winds are doing. And on a perfect day, hot air balloon pilots can take off, travel southward, go a little bit higher up in the air, and land in the exact same spot. But as soon as the sun starts rising up over the Sandias and heating up the ground across Albuquerque, it causes all of those different air layers to start mixing together, dissipating that Albuquerque box effect. This is why Balloon Fiesta happens early in the morning when we get that perfect box effect to set up. I'm Grant Tostrud, weather reporting you can trust.
Albuquerque Florist is the proud Set Flowers sponsor for New Mexico Living.
A classic arcade game is getting its own game with the New Mexico Lottery. Most of us, you've heard of the game Skee-Ball, right? And now you're going to be able to get your hands on some Skee-Ball scratchers that are being rolled out by the New Mexico Lottery. Rolled out, see what I did there? It's going to be a guaranteed good time. All right, so here today to tell us more about this new scratcher, where we can find them, and what the top prizes are is Communications Manager with the New Mexico Lottery, Vanessa Malone. Vanessa, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, New Mexico Lottery, always rolling out the latest and greatest. We're always trying to change these games up, new games. We got a new one. Let's talk about the new game. I'm going to do it one more time. That's Rolling into Town.
Everybody loves Skee-Ball, right?
Right. Yeah, I'm terrible at it, but I like it.
But you still play.
Yes, exactly.
Well,
every
this
single
one's
time.
a little bit easier. No skill involved, right? So you
big.
just, it's a new $3 scratcher.
Okay.
Prizes up to $15,000.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay, so how does it work?
So if you scratch the numbers down at the bottom of the ticket there,
Okay.
you see where they land on the game board.
Yes.
My favorite part, quick total in the corner. You don't even have to add up your points. It's all right there for you.
Lovely. So all we have to do in this Skee-Ball game, guys, is just use a coin and scratch, essentially. And you said winnings up to $15,000. I could not imagine winning $15,000 on a scratcher. How amazing. But somebody can do that with these scratchers. Now, something that I like to talk about with these scratchers that I didn't know about before was that some of them have second chance promotions. Does this one have one?
This one does.
Okay, how does it work?
So first you have to buy a ticket.
Okay, yes.
And then you go to nmlottery.com.
Okay.
And you can either scan or manually enter that ticket.
Okay, is there like a code number?
Yep, you scratch it off and then you can scan it with your phone. It's really easy.
Yes.
And so there's 2 prizes of $3,000
Okay.
each. And then when you enter that ticket, you also get to play a bonus digital Skee-Ball game.
See, that's,
super fun.
I love that about the New Mexico Lottery. Always rolling out something fun and extra, right? Because, I used to always think, oh, if you didn't win, oh, it's done, throw it away. Don't ever do that. Like I said, not every single scratcher has a second chance promotion, but a lot of them do. This is one of them. So if you don't win right away, have no fear. You can go onto the website and you go to NewMexicoLottery.com. That's where we do that?
Yep.
Okay, and there's going to be that code. So maybe don't throw it away. Enter the second chance promotion. You could still win big. How do people go to enter Again, yeah, tell us about that really quickly.
So you visit nmlottery.com
Okay.
and you click on that turquoise promotions tab there at the
Yes,
top.
there we
That'll
go.
bring up every promotion at the New Mexico Lottery. So you have to scroll and find that skee ball or whatever promotion you're entering. Click on it. You might have to make an account, but it's free and it's super easy.
Yes, don't freak out. You're like, they're going to want all my information. No, it's free. It's gonna
Nope.
be very easy, guys.
And you can opt in and out of emails, so we won't spam you either. Don't worry.
There we go. You have the opportunity, so don't blame them. You have the opportunity to opt out if you want to. How old do we have to be to buy a lottery ticket?
You have to be 18 years old to buy and play lottery.
There we go. That's very important. 18 or older to participate and play in this scratcher game. A lot of amazing stuff with the New Mexico Lottery, and I think that the lottery is so awesome because the money from these ticket sales, it goes to fund the Legislative Lottery Scholarship, which I'm a recipient of. Can you talk to me about the Legislative Lottery Scholarship, where people can go to find out more about this? How amazing is this, too?
It is amazing to start out life without a huge amount of debt, right?
Yeah.
So if you go to nmlottery.com and
Yeah.
you can scroll down to the bottom, there's tons of information there. There's links, and then reachhighernm.com, the higher education department.nm.gov, all have great resources for that Legislative Lottery Scholarship Fund.
I wonder if other states' lottery programs have learned from us and been like, oh, we can take the monies from this and actually help kids get an education post high school. The Legislative Lottery Scholarship is a godsend. It helped me get my degree. I'm pretty much sitting here today because of it. Amazing stuff. Vanessa, one more time, a website where we can go to find out more.
nmlottery.com.
There we go. Get your skee ball scratchers, guys. We've got to be 18 or older. Vanessa, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Don't forget about the Second Chance promotion, too. All right, for more information on this entire interview, guys, head over to KRTV.com. Click on that New Mexico Living tab. Stay with us. More New Mexico Living headed your way right after the break.
It's now time for the National Roofing Weather Update.
Current temperatures across the state, we see 60 here in Albuquerque, 55 down across Ruidoso, 53 up through Las Vegas as well. The south is trending on the warmer side. Forecast highs, we're looking at about 72 here in Albuquerque, 62 across Ruidoso, and in the mid to upper 70s across most of southern New Mexico, with parts of southwestern New Mexico like Deming reaching the upper 80s, or lower 80s, excuse me. As we look at our satellite, we do see that low pressure system circulating right here, bringing in that moisture and causing those isolated showers and storms that we've seen for the past couple of days. Now that low pressure system is moving its way out, and a high pressure system is actually moving its way towards the Four Corners, but the moisture is going to be sticking around, which is why we can still expect to see these showers and thunderstorms continue. By 3 p.m. today, we see that rain is really starting to come down across the northern mountains and across parts of the southern regions as well, largely sticking to those higher elevations. But as we look later into the evening, we start to see that rain edge down, possibly even grazing across here into Albuquerque. There is a chance for that rain. It's mostly going to clear out overnight and for most of the day on Friday. Until about 4 p.m. on Friday, we do see that rain edge its way back down across the northern mountains. Now at this point, the high pressure system is over Arizona and it's making its way towards the Four Corners, which is why those rain chances have really isolated themselves to mostly the northern and western regions. On Saturday, we can expect them to nearly completely dry out. In the meantime, though, we do have a flood watch in effect for the large portion of the Hermit's Peak Calf Canyon burn scar. This went into effect at noon and will last all the way through the evening. Due to the snowmelt and the heavy rainfall, flash flooding is a possibility. Let's go ahead and take a final look at those 7 days. We are seeing that rain and snow is continuing for southern Colorado all the way through the weekend before it warms up and dries out just in time for Mother's Day. As we take a look across the northwest, it's going to be a very similar story. We see the areas closer to the mountains are expecting more of that rain and snow, but the northwest does have that chance all the way through Saturday afternoon. The southwest, the far southwest, I should say, is going to be staying dry, but the areas closer to the higher elevations, like the Sacramento Mountains or the Gila, do have the better chances for rain and snow. Across the southeast, they do have some very isolated chances of seeing some rain later tonight and on the way tomorrow. Up across the northeast, the areas closer to the mountains have the better chances of seeing those storms and those rain showers. The further you get into the plains, the more isolated to spotty those chances become. Up across the northern mountains, thunderstorms and more snow are of course possible tonight and tomorrow, and a very slim chance again on Saturday. Down through the East Mountains, we could see some more thunderstorms rolling in tonight. Very slim rain chance for Friday, drying out by Saturday. Across the metro, it's a very similar story. We could see some isolated thunderstorms moving across tonight. That chance slowly decreases on Friday and is completely dry by Saturday as that high pressure system makes its way across New Mexico and into the Four Corners. Finishing off here in Albuquerque, we do have some rain chances coming tonight and on Friday. We'll see if we can top what was already the wettest day of the year yesterday. But by the weekend, we see that high pressure system really takes hold, completely dries out our state, and brings in those much warmer temperatures. We're looking at a high temperature of 80 degrees on Mother's Day.
Goodwill of New Mexico is the proud coffee mug sponsor for New Mexico Living.
Supporting local musicians and building community through collaborative creative projects. That is what the Beauty Music Collective is doing right here in New Mexico.
Yeah, they're absolutely evolving the music scene in the land of enchantment, bringing a collective of musicians and artists from across the Southwest together to create original music while building something great. We are joined by the CEO of Beauty Music Collective, Romeo Alonzo. Look at this red suit. And we're with the front man from the band, The Elevated Roots, Elton Allen. We're talking about this partnership as well as new music we're in store for with The Elevated Roots. Lucky guys,
welcome. Thanks for being
here.
here.
Thank you for having us. The Beauty Music Collective. I love this. Talk to us about what it is, how it works, what you guys are doing.
Okay, well, BMC stands for Beauty Music Collective, and it actually started from a course I took at the UNM College of Fine Arts.
Okay.
Yeah, it was it's arts entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to really stop and think about how to pronounce that, but it was taught by C.K. Barlow. She's a composer and educator, and she's now teaching at the Peabody Institute in Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay. Amazing.
And her course taught us to take our creative ideas seriously and create something real. And so now, born from that experience, BMC is a collective of musicians and artists in the Southwest who are dedicated to creating new music.
Love it.
And supporting local artists and making something bigger than ourselves.
Well, that's exactly what you're doing. Talk to us about some of the bands and artists that you work with BMC.
Well, we've got some award-winning bands. Well, Elevated Roots, for instance, they've been nominated several times for a New Mexico Music Award.
Awesome.
The Boom Roots Collective out of Santa Fe, they're part of the BMC family. They've actually won last year's reggae award for the New Mexico Music Awards. N-Estate has won a Rocky Mountain Emmy.
Amazing.
Yes, sir. I couldn't believe it when I saw her name on the list, but there it was. And they also won a Native American Music Award. So
yeah. So BMC basically doing great things here, highlighting, exposing these local bands that we have so many of them. They're so great. One of them here today, Elton Allen, frontman for the Elevated Roots. Let's talk about the Elevated Roots, the band, type of music you play, when y'all came together. Talk to us about it.
It's been about a 3-year project that we're with now. We've had some members fall out and new members come in. But we started the project during COVID, was really missing live music, and just started playing live music, and it grew from there. And we're working with some heavy hitter producers.
Huge producers.
And that's we're bringing positive vibrations to the world, and we want to spread our message of compassion, empathy, and love,
Love it.
I want to talk, speaking of love, you've got a new single, Bringing the Love, which is released tomorrow officially. You worked with 6-time Grammy-winning producer Bonsai Caruso on this, as well as another individual.
Wow.
Talk to us about this song.
Yeah, Randy Clark, Barking Dog Records, and James Bonsai Caruso, producer that's produced big names, most of the Marley Brothers and stuff.
Wow.
Cool. We got to work with him. He's working on Bringing the Love that we're releasing tomorrow, and he's also working on the next 2 singles that we're having so far. And
that's awesome.
He just heard one of our songs and loved it, and
it's amazing.
Flew out here and started working with us.
How awesome is that he heard y'all's music? You didn't seek him out. He sought y'all out.
And came out here to work with them.
A testament to what you guys are doing here with the BMC. Yeah. Let's talk really quickly about that Mother's Day event, May 11th, video release party at Inside Out. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, video release party. We're going to 4:30 your doors. Come in. We got a band called American Slang opening up the party. DJ Buddha Funk is spinning in between. And Mother's Day, May 11th, come out at 4:30. We're going to be having the single release party with the video.
There's some of the boys right there. Elevated Roots in the hizzy. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming in. The Beauty Up Music Collective, putting local bands in the spotlight. Amazing stuff. Where can we go to find out more about Beauty Music Collective?
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, pretty much all the social media platforms. And also just give me a call. There's my information on the screen right there.
Jot it down.
We're located in the Sims building right down the street in downtown Albuquerque, New Mexico. And we're proud to represent the culture and the talent of New Mexico.
Amazing stuff right here. And guess what, guys? You're about to get a performance from the Elevated Roots. When we return, do not go anywhere. You're going to see this epic band live. Stay with us.
I really do think it has to do with what really affects your heart. And if there's something that really touches your heart, then find an organization that is working in that area.
Life can take a lot of different twists and turns, especially when it comes to careers. For Shelly Rep, life as she knew it was never the same after a series of different encounters that exposed her to human trafficking. Starting in 2010, Shelly worked with a young refugee who was trafficked by her sponsor family. Then, things became even more personal when she discovered that a family member had become entangled with the commercial sex industry.
That was a trajectory change for me because I really didn't know what trafficking was. And so it was after that that I just really felt compelled to learn what human trafficking was and then how that worked within the United States. Because I was thinking, well, it's probably people who are being trafficked into the United States, which that's some of it. But what we've seen is that it's actually a larger portion of domestically born people who end up, especially in sex trafficking situations, here within the United States and specifically here within New Mexico.
In 2011, Shelly started an outreach ministry to women working in strip clubs. Through this work, she began a ministry called Spoken For. Its mission was to provide resources and services to women who had survived sex trafficking. Flash forward to 2016, Shelly was invited to become a part of the New Mexico Human Trafficking Task Force. Through this, she gained knowledge and experience that helped her ministry Spoken For become an independent nonprofit. And in 2018, Spoken For merged with the New Mexico Dream Center to create a stronger and more supported nonprofit.
So I would say at New Mexico Dream Center, we take a 360-degree approach to addressing human trafficking. And so what that means is we are looking at the push and pull factors that bring people into human trafficking, looking at supporting people who are trying to get out of human trafficking, and then what does it look like for prevention? How do we prevent somebody from actually becoming a trafficking victim? And so through that mission is how we've determined the different programs that we have.
The New Mexico Dream Center's multifaceted approach to human trafficking, a 360-degree angle, if you will, makes the work they do both unique and incredibly vital here in New Mexico. They offer safe places like the Harbor, where young people can go to enjoy warm meals, hot showers, clean clothes, and get further help if they choose. There's also the Eliza Jane House, which provides a stable shelter tailored to survivors of human trafficking right here in Albuquerque.
So the reason we started the Harbor is to give a walk-up opportunity for young people who are unhoused to come and be in a safe place where they can access services and resources and then be able to connect with other programs so that they don't have to stay in that situation. We do have other programs, the Eliza Jane Stability Shelter, which is New Mexico's only human trafficking specific shelter, and we had 11 people access services there in 2024, which is pretty good because we just started in 2024.
The New Mexico Dream Center doesn't stop there. On top of the shelters they offer for unhoused youth and human trafficking victims, they're also getting out into the community as part of their outreach program to locate and build relationships with this incredibly vulnerable population.
When you are doing outreach, you develop relationships. And so we work really hard at having the same people there doing these outreaches over and over and over again, because we're working on developing that relationship with the community and then the people that we're trying to reach, because relationships are what are going to help people come into services. So being able to do the outreach side, and then when you're referring to the same types of people. So you have somebody that they then recognize.
The movers and shakers in the world are ones who see a problem and take action. Shelly Rep is one of those people. What started as a call to action 15 years ago has since grown into one of New Mexico's most vital resources. The New Mexico Dream Center is addressing human trafficking in New Mexico head-on through prevention activities, outreach to victims, services for survivors, and a support system for clients in their self-determination.
New Mexico Dream Center is definitely a grassroots program. It started as that, but as we've grown, we need to continue to provide those services beyond me. It needs to be something that's going to continue.
In life, some of our greatest and most bold ideas are born from things that could have broken us. Shelly Rep and the New Mexico Dream Center are proof of that. Their ultimate goal is to one day no longer be needed. For now, the mission continues, and that's being a refuge for those who need it most.
When the story breaks, we take to the skies to get you the facts so you're informed on what's happening on the ground anywhere in the state. Sky News on KRQE News 13. Local reporting you can trust.
The County Line is the proud loft sponsor for New Mexico Living.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the Elevated Roots.
Competitive ballooning is all about three things: speed, precision, and planning. But what exactly are pilots being judged on? Well, every competition is different, and that has a lot to do with the event coordinator who sets tasks for the pilots to complete. Let's run through what a normal competition day looks like. First, about an hour before dawn, all the teams and organizers meet up during a pilot's briefing. Here they go over the weather forecast. Yep, there's KRQE Chief Meteorologist Grant Tostrud floating around talking shop, and most importantly for the pilots and their crews, the tasks they'll be competing in. Tasks are the individual challenges pilots will be scored on, and they range from location objectives to complicated mid-air maneuvers and are often strung together like a scavenger hunt across the skies. Sometimes these tasks are arranged to be performed in specific order. At other times, the event coordinator may leave the field open and allow the competitors to pilot their own course. But once the pilots have a clear understanding of the tasks that they are being scored on, they'll set off finding the best launch point and set up for a launch as quick as possible. All the tasks are scored individually and are added up at the end of competition, where a winner will be declared. Before we look at a few of these tasks, here are some things to remember about how piloting a hot air balloon works. A pilot can only directly control their balloon in one axis, going up by firing the burners and going down by laying off the heat or venting hot air from the top of the envelope. Oh yeah, they can also rotate the balloon, but that's mostly for preventing neck strain. Wind layers move in different directions at different elevations. Astute pilots can rise up or drop down into different layers to catch the current, which helps them pilot a course across the sky, using the envelope of their balloon like a sail. But the pilot isn't controlling the wind and can only react to changes in the current and harness what Mother Nature is providing. Just as the direction of the wind is constantly changing, so are the speeds of the wind, which is important for a pilot in the middle of a race. Another thing to take into consideration is if a pilot wants to maneuver into a different wind layer to change direction, say up 1,000 feet, to catch this easterly wind, the time it takes to climb up to that layer may set them off course, especially if the wind speeds are high in that lower current. So a high wind speed may have an advantage in shaving off the time in a pilot's run, but it also makes precise navigation far more difficult.
Slim Chickens is the proud kitchen sponsor for New Mexico Living.
All right, guys, if you missed anything or you want to see more of today's show,
head over to KRQE.com, click on the New Mexico Living tab. That's where you can look at our catalog of pet pics, interviews, links for our guest appearances, local events calendar, so much more.
The Elevated Roots are doing just that. They've got a show on Mother's Day at Inside Out, a video release, a party of sorts. So once you're done with your Mother's Day plans, go check them out. That was such a good vibe.
Stuck in my head all day now.
I'm going to be singing it at my desk, absolutely.
Bring the love, bring the love. Yeah.
It was fun.
Get out there.
It was high energy. It was fun.
Mother's Day, got Mother's Day plans? Go to this video
Now you
release
do.
at Inside Out, Elevated Roots, elevating my vibe.
All right, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow.
Have a good one, guys.
Sing it again.